Hello again, everyone. This is Randy, your sewing machine man. What do we have today? Looks like a dressmaker from the 70s. And of course, the dressmaker was a label that was affixed with two screws, one here and one here. You could take those screws off, put another label on, dial and sew, stitch and sew, Carl Sewing Center, any kind of a label. These were called open label machines because they came from Taiwan, and I was told that if you bought a container load, they would make the little labels and put your name on it. It could say Randy if you wanted to, or Bob, or Fred, or Susie, anything you want on the label. If you bought a container of these, which was quite a few machines, and they would custom label them for your store or for your warehouse, wherever you have. This particular type of machine has a special place in the history of my career, and a special place in my heart, because these little guys were the ones that they sold at the Texas State Fair. They didn't just sell them at the Texas State Fair. Actually, it'd be sitting out there, and you fill out the little card and drop it in, and if you were the lucky winner, you would win one of these. And I guess somebody won one, and then the other 900 zillion of the people who registered got the same machine, or the whole batch of machines. You got a coupon for $100 off because you won second prize. So it was a pretty good gig for whoever had these machines, because they were very inexpensive, they were very heavy, and how they fit into my history was these would get damaged in shipment, and I mean lots of them. I don't know how many, the percentage of how many were shipped as opposed to how many got damaged in shipment, but I imagine it was a lot, because they shipped them to the U.S. Postal Service, and the U.S. Postal Service would have what they called their unclaimed odds and ends auction a couple times a year. And while this was going on, while all that stuff was going on with the state fair and shipping these around, these were predominantly featured in the auction, hundreds of them. Now, most of the dealers in the area around Dallas-Fort Worth didn't want anything to do with them, which was great for me because I bought every single stinking one up I could get my hands on. The other guys, that's when everybody was getting away from the heavy machines and going to the lightweight, the Vikings and the Singers with the plastic gears and stuff. But this one here is cast iron, and it has a brass zigzag gear. It's got the fractional horsepower motor like Singer brags about now. This is like the very same motor. It's got replaceable motor brushes. It's a very good motor, made in Taiwan. Has the one screw that puts it on. This is a very, very good motor, very powerful, a lot of torque. And that machine motor has not changed in many, many years. It's been around forever. Good motor. The motors hardly ever go out if people don't mess with them, monkey with them, take them apart, or oil them. These motors are just bulletproof. They actually go forever. But this little guy right here will sew up a storm, and I would buy these. Like I said, I'd get maybe a couple hundred of them, and sometimes they were damaged in shipment. This would be broken off, that would be broken off. Sometimes it'd take 3 to make one, sometimes it'd take 2 to make one, but we got these, and we'd take them apart, put them back together in our sleep. Little operation we had there in Arlington on South Cooper Street, and we would sell these things like hotcakes because we had very little in them, so we could sell them very inexpensively. And for a good machine that'll just sew up a storm, these aren't for impressing your friends and the folks at the Quilt Guild. This is for sewing up a storm. I mean, just really getting after it. It's got the adjustable pressure, it's got the drop feed, it's got the low shank, 15 class, side load like an industrial. Bobbin winds on top, it has the standard clutch release and everything on it. Everything is just standard, nothing fancy. It came with cams and stuff that go in the top. Nobody ever used them, they usually lost them. You can do decorative stitches like I did here just by turning the dial. But you lock it on straight stitch. It's got a 3-needle position, which is nice. Self-adjusting tension, you put it on the R on normal, and you can go from one thing to the other. I have it set up because everybody wants to say, will it sew on denim? Of course, it would sew on denim all day long. That's only 6 layers, fold it over. So, whenever we'd sew on these to sell them, we'd always have a big piece of leather, maybe an old belt to sew on that, because that's always the ultimate impress your buyer, is put it on leather. You put a leather needle in there and it'll sew it all day long. So this little guy, you can find them out there at the Goodwills and the Salvation Army thrift stores, maybe at the state sales. These are all over the United States, and they may say dressmaker, they may say who knows what, but they're good little machines. They don't have the best fit and finish. They're not made in Japan. They're made in Taiwan, so they didn't really go overboard on paint jobs, and they're semi-precision. I don't say they're precision. I don't say they're not precision. I'd say they're semi-precision. because they are little workhorses. They'll sew up a storm. Let's give you a little more back and forth. And it will back and forth and do that on denim. That's a pretty good test. And it'll sew about anything you put underneath there, and silk all the way up to leather. Nice little machine. And I guess they call it a model 2400 or something like that. I see them with all sorts of different model numbers on them, but I think it's going to be a, well, let me get this off. Oh, that's good. Oh, this is a 2402. And they come in these awesome ABS carrying cases, and you can stand on them, jump up and down. The carrying cases are very good also. You don't see these anymore. These are real stout. They're not the flimsy one. So if you can get one of these, and somebody's got one for $100, $125, grab it. And you can sew on your heavy stuff and leave all your dainty stuff for your, your Genomes and your Brothers and your Vikings and stuff like that without tearing them up. This one here will get it done. This is the 2402. It's the Dressmaker cast iron heavy duty semi precision.